Hey, alright, time for another video. I got the 900 in here and went ahead and tore down the front. Got new brake pads put in already. Left this knuckle sitting here. We're just going to grease that bearing. Everything else looks to be okay. No major problems. New brakes here. We went ahead and tore the back down to pull the knuckles off. Checked all this. And yep, those rear bearings are bad. There's the bearings. So I don't know, it's aggravating. 600 miles and them bearings gone bad. It's aggravating. It's 2016. You know, you wouldn't expect that, but if you own one of these machines, expect it. The 800s are the same way. I'm sure the 1000s are too, unless they've done something miraculous to fix that problem. One thing they did do is on these knuckles they put brass or steel bushings in there. The 800 has these plastic, you know, POS, but those all got changed in the other one too. One thing I do want to show you guys, I know there's been a lot of talk about greasing these bearings, and I already greased the 800 when I put it back together. And I bought this tool from Machined Integrations. For the 800 you need 2 tools. The bearings are 2 different sizes. So if you got an 800, jackpot, now you got to spend twice as much. The 900 is all the same. Not the same bearing, same inner diameter on the bearing. So this tool fits the front and it fits the rear. But we've got the factory bearings, which are still good. They're not bad. But I'll bet you there's no grease in it. And then we got the new rear bearings that are installed in here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you that there's exactly no grease in them bearings. So now the 800 took about 27 pumps of grease in brand new Polaris bearings out of the factory. And we're still using Polaris parts, all except for the brake pads. Those were factory spec brake pads. So you just push that down in there like so. Put that on there. And just kind of watch for the grease to come out. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now that took 23 pumps. But check this out. If you look down in there, there's water. This thing's been off the trail for 2 weeks. There's water in there. So yeah, I don't think they're a true sealed bearing to begin with. But that front hub, 23 pumps. And then you just pull it out like that. Go to the next one. And I was also squirting water out all over the place. Unbelievable. Now, when they say, oh, those bearings, when you order them, they're good to go. All you got to do is, you know, just, that's a brand new bearing. It was just put in 10 minutes ago. So let's see. "23. Seems to be a pattern developing here. 23. Let's see the other one. Okay, 22. Yeah. And I'll tell you something else too. When you're greasing these bearings, and you see the grease coming out, now, see that green grease? If I'm not mistaken, that is just a break-in lube. So, I mean, yeah, I can see why there'd be bearing problems with these, because they don't put any friggin' grease in to begin with. They're assembled on the line with a little bit of lubrication so they can go together. And even on this one, same thing. Got green. That's assembly lube or pre-lube or something. They don't even resemble grease. It's kind of, it's not even thick. So, but the grease I'm using, Chevron Dello. Good quality grease. I've been in fleet maintenance for over 30 years, and I tell you what, that Dello grease is some good stuff. We've used that on cars, trucks, light trucks, heavy trucks, Class 8 trucks. It's pretty good grease. A little expensive, but an ounce of prevention goes a long way, you know what I'm saying? But that is it right there. See if there was anything else. Oh yeah, one other thing. when you're doing these bearings on the rear of the 900, you can see how that knuckle is on like this super weird ass friggin' angle. So instead of trying to block this thing up all 6 ways of different crazy and cause you to hurt yourself or damage your parts, if you got the press over there, and you get one of the just basic automotive seal driver kits, right? These I don't know, somebody must have figured in the future they'll use these on Polaris razors because they work really well. If you turn them upside down, look at that. It's a perfect fit. So when you're putting these in, set this on your plate. Take your bearing, set your bearing on this after they're froze. Then take your knuckle, set your knuckle on it this way. Now this is still flat. And then take your other tools, set that in there. Look at that. It's perfect. And then just stack these up. Stack them up to about like right here. Put them in your press and press the knuckle onto the bearing. Yes, it'll work. I just did it twice. But you got to freeze them bearings. You freeze them. Now on the 900, even being froze, they're stiff to go in. You're going to have to work at it a little bit. Just make sure it's straight. And shouldn't have any issues. It's easier to press the knuckle onto the bearing than it is to press the bearing into the knuckle. But you say we got all the brakes changed. We've checked all of our boots. They're all still nice and soft and stuff. So I'm not going to bore you with this is how the bolt goes back in the hole and you tighten it, you know, and all that stuff. When you're putting your machine back together, just make sure you clean these surfaces. Put some anti-seize on there. And as far as shock squeak goes, just take that bolt out, lift that shock out, and brush a little anti-seize on that bushing. It'll take care of your problem. And just tighten it back down. I've seen on YouTube where people are just loosening the bolt. Yeah, that's not good. Because when the bolt gets loose, part gets sloppy, it oblongs the shock eye. Now you either got to replace your shock, or if you got the performance shocks with the eye, then you got to see if it's even serviceable to get that bearing out of there to change that. So, yeah. I still think Polaris has a few issues on it, like no grease fitting on that, you know. And then if you go up front and you look at the grease fittings, they got grease fittings there, there, there. Oh, not there. No grease fitting on that one. I guess it's too small to have grease fitting. When it grows up, it might get one. Yeah, I mean, it's just a couple little issues, you know, here and there, but overall, it's a good machine. I like the machine. But, yeah, you just got to stay on top of the preventative maintenance, because if you don't, you're going to pay. Trust me. Between all the bearings and bushing kits on the 900 and the 800 out there, $550, and I'm doing the labor. So I would think it'd be close to $1,000 if you had a couple of these things and took them to the shop. And look for, when you buy your parts, look online for people that buy in bulk and got a lot of buying power with Polaris. Because I found these bearings, and they are Polaris bearings, at cheapcycleparts.com. then that's Polaris. They are Polaris parts. Places like that, you know, they can get a little bit better price than going to the dealer. So, only problem with cheapcycleparts.com is it takes 7 or 8 days to get here, because you order it from them, they order it from Polaris, the Polaris sends it to them, they send it to you. So they don't even drop ship, I don't think. But that's it. Like I said, I'm not going to bore you with how we put it back together, because it's just simple stuff, common sense stuff, you know. Like I said, NICs, a little bit of lube, grease everything while you got it apart. Yeah, life expectancy from Polaris, from what I've been told from Polaris, is 600 miles on those bearings if you leave them alone and don't grease them. Now, these weren't bad, so I just went ahead and greased them. And I'll check them on pre-trips and see how they go. But one other thing I'm curious about is these wheel spacers. That gives the 50-inch 900, you know, 4.5, 5 inches more in the rear, which does help for stability. But you got to think too, the only bearings that were bad on this machine was the rears. So spacing that wheel out actually kind of does put more twisting force on that bearing. So it could be that the spacers just made it go bad, but not according to Polaris. That's it. So let me know what you think. If you guys got any tips or tricks or anything like that, you know, some power mods, some other stuff, you know, let me know. Well, you know, if we think it's feasible and think it's worth it, we'll buy it. We'll put it on here and we'll try it out. One other thing I picked up was the True Dual Battery Connect and Monitor Kit. It's got the little gauges and all that for doing your second battery. You see, I got my second battery up out of the friggin' water. We're going to put that on here probably today or tomorrow, and there'll be another video on that to show you how that works. But yeah, let me know what you think. You know, stuff that we've got on this one already is, you know, we got two-way radials on this. We got windshield wipers, windshield squirters. We got heat, roof, windshield, back glass, spare battery, front and rear winches, trail jack. It's just toolbox. It looks like a gas can. Which that's on eBay. That red tool can up there, it opens up to like a toolbox, but that's pretty cool. Pretty neat little thing. But let me know what you think. Like I said, I'm just trying to let you know that about these bearings, and you really got to pay attention to them. Preventative maintenance is key on these machines. And if you're able to, and I know not everybody is, but when you go out on a trail, take spare fuel pumps, spare belts, ball joints. Try to think of things that's going to prevent you from getting back, and take a spare part. I mean, that's what we do. We've got a spare fuel pump for each machine. We got spare belts for each machine. We got ball joints. So think ahead. Let me know. we said we'll have another video up of the dual battery charging system. We'll see how that works. Anything else we can come up with? We'll try it out. Thanks for watching.